Hello and welcome fans and friends, my name is 8-Bit Ben, or should I say Super 8-Bit Ben. Lately I've changed the name of the channel, I've changed a couple of things, so I might as well bring up that I've changed the name slightly, so if you have trouble finding me, that's the reason why. And if you find this video without being subscribed, that's a miracle. So thanks for checking out this video anyway. So today I'm finally going to get round to talking about my life. And this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time, and I think now is the absolute most perfect time to talk about it because we just hit past 100 subscribers and I'm actually coming 21 this year in October. So we'll talk about when I was born, stuff like that in this video. It's not going to be like a draw my life type video because it just takes too much time for me to do, and at this point with my subscribers I don't really think it's really worth it. Maybe if we hit 1,000 subscribers I'll probably do that maybe again and talk about how my life has changed since this video, you know, stuff like that and whatever happened before. So anyway, we're going to move on to the script I've written. There's about 5 pages here of you know, stuff about my life, and I just want to get this all correct because if I were to talk about all this off the cuff I might get some details incorrect and I might miss some things I thought were important. So if I sound a little bit like a drone trying to read this, I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best to read this to you guys as naturally as possible as I can, but I won't be able to look directly at the camera. So okay, so let's begin. So you've always known me as 8-Bit Ben, or now Super 8-Bit Ben, but my actual true name is Benjamin Wilkinson. So if you ever wanted to look me up on Facebook, that's my name. You should be able to find me fairly easily. At the moment I'm using a Star Fox profile picture, so yeah. I'll probably just leave a link below anyway, so we'll just move on to the beginning of my life. Now I do need to warn that this story is pretty sad because my life has been at a pretty low point for a very long time, and this is going to be really hard for me to read out, but for you guys really. Okay, so the best place to start was, of course, I was born on the 27th of October in 1996. I was born premature, weighing very little, 5.5 pounds, but thankfully I was okay and was placed in the incubator because I had jaundice and recovered just fine because I had jaundice when I was born, and that's a type of cancer, but thankfully I don't have it now. I was removed thanks to them putting me in the special incubator. The doctors didn't actually notice any birth defects at the time. Now this is really important because when I was born I was thought to be somewhat normal baby, but as we find out I actually have some problems. A few months later my mum discovered that half my head went flat, so I was rushed to the doctor and was diagnosed with benign external hydrocephalus, which what hydrocephalus usually is fluid inside the brain, but mine is benign, which means the water was actually outside my brain, so it was actually able to go away naturally. It just kind of drained away eventually, but it did kind of leave a lasting effect on myself. So that effect would be slow learning disability, which means I have a permanent disability in my life, and it's not really something I can really get past, but I do work on it. So this was discovered on February 96, and we had to wait till June at a place called the Royal Victoria Hospital in Belfast, where they did a scan and x-ray and discovered my condition. Later on I went to physio weekly sessions, physio occupational therapy and speech therapy at the Ulster Hospital, so I went to school and got all that during school hours. At this time I lived with only 2 other people, my brother and mum, in a small house in a place called Knockmine Gardens. I would visit my dad in Ballymena every weekend along with staying with my grandparents, so I only lived with my mum. I only saw my dad every weekend, so it wasn't like a full family in general like most people have. It was a very happy time of life, if the only happy time, and I still have a very fond memories living there, playing PlayStation 2 with my brother. I owe him a lot of credit for helping me find my favourite types of games and movies. Not much really happened during this time as I went from nursery school to an assessment school called Greenwood House, where also my brother went to a place called Greenwood Primary, which is nearby. Now due to my slow learning disability I was placed in a school for children with special needs, and this would shape me into part of the person I am now. This did hinder what I learned, but it was suitable for the time, and I grew smarter as the years went on, and really should have moved on to a more advanced education. In 2004, we met a new person called Peter, who was commonly referred to as PJ. My brother and I weren't fussing him, but our mom was interested in him, so we went to visit him, and they would go on dates sometimes. One day, on one of their dates, they were hit by a car, and unfortunately, the family car was destroyed, but thankfully Mom and PJ were okay. Anyway, near that point, Mom decided to allow Peter to live with us, which, again, Josh and I weren't fussed, and it made life a lot more annoying. Now, I actually discovered recently the reason why he moved in with us was because he actually collapsed, and then I guess Mum wanted to look after him during this time. So even though Josh and I weren't really fussed on having him around in the house, he would say to live with us anyway, and we had to deal with that. Sometime after that, it got really strange with PJ because he got really tired of us calling him PJ, even though that was he didn't mind us calling him that at first, and it was only whenever Mum and him started to get more close that he got more annoyed at us calling him PJ, and eventually we got used to calling him Peter. But again, we weren't really fussing the guy. He was a really douchebaggy person, as you'll find out here. So anyway, I was stuck in special needs education for even the next two high schools until I finally made it into a mixed normal disability school. This was actually my third high school, and it was towards the end of high school, so it was kind of moved to that at the worst time. In part, this was thanks to Peter helping homeschool me, but his methods were way too aggressive, and I really started to resent him even more than I already did. It was too much pressure for a person my age and mental capacity, doing pointless spelling and writing tests while also trying to learn what I was actually doing at school, and this happened during primary school and early high school. Peter did horrible things like throwing out my beloved games and movies if they involved anything, I mean anything, that he didn't agree with, including Mario, just because he thought that Mario's brother Luigi had something to do with the OJ board, which is actually commonly known as a Luigi board, but I prefer to call it the OJ board because of this reason. No matter how many times I tried to explain to him, he would never listen to or believe me. He was a complete bully and control freak, and I wouldn't wish anything that he made me go free upon even my worst enemy. This was the lowest point in my life, and it took sheer will to live during this time. I don't really want to go into depth what sort of depression I went through. Is a lot worse than what the current depression had gone through. So that went on for about 8 years. My mum didn't really realise what I was going through, and she got married to him in 2007, where we went to his home country in Zimbabwe to get married. The mental torture I went through was unimaginable, and it made me a stronger-willed person. Many years passed, and my brother had enough and moved to my dad's, and a few years later my mum had enough of him, and we temporarily left the house to return a few weeks later. The scumbag actually locked us out of the house, and so we actually had to get the police to break in, and he was obviously, basically kicked out because of that. He never came back, except for probably a few months later to pick up his own stuff, or a couple of weeks later. And he actually left a lot of absolute crap in the attic. If you actually watch my earlier videos, you'll see how much crap was in the attic. That was mostly his. And even at that point, I actually had to clear half the attic to be able to make those videos and stuff like that. I consider this a happy ending because of what I went through with Peter, but there's a new saga of torment and torture that I kind of went through after that when I started going to tech. So my time in tech was just okay. There was a lot of problems that kind of went on. I'm not going to say the name of the tech just for their sake, but a lot of the time the tutors weren't even around towards the middle of the year and probably the end of the year whenever we actually needed them most, and I was just one of those students that actually did try to learn something and get qualifications, because that's actually what I went there for, and I think that's the reason that most people go to tech, is to learn qualifications to get a job. So I did that for about 3 years. I did a lot of really weird and annoying placements. It's not because I'm a lazy person, but the stuff they had me do was really, really tedious and hardworking, and I got no pay whatsoever for it, except for what I got paid from tech. So I can understand why they didn't pay me, but they could have at least not put so much pressure on me. But not all the people I worked with were actually bad. The co-workers were actually really nice people, and I made some friends with them, and they're great people to work with. Some of the higher-ups are actually pretty nice people, but the other half of the higher-ups were actually really strict and not very nice people in general. And if they ever see this video, they need to understand, and I think they know who they are, that they were being really, really hard at me at that point in my life where I was just trying to figure out who I was and what I was trying to do. And it got to the point where I kind of mentally broke down in a couple of placements. I couldn't cope with the amount of work they were giving me, despite the lack of pay I was actually getting and needed at the time. So at the end of the tech, I did about 3 years in there, which I think was probably the minimum you could do. And I did pretty well. I got a lot of good qualifications, and I eventually left tech after I thought I was finished with it. And I was really wanting to move on to finding a job. So what I've been currently doing since then is actually been looking for work, and I haven't been successful. I've gotten a few interviews and they've gone down pretty well, but I've never heard any word back. And during those 3 years at tech, I actually started this channel, and this is the most consistent thing in my life probably at the moment, is this channel. And I'm really trying to work at this channel to keep it going, because it is a major part of my life at the moment. So I've been mostly on my own since then, and I've been suffering a bit of depression because I'm so alone. I've been trying to find work forever, and I've just kind of given up at this point. I might go back into job searching, but I've tried everything. I've gone to a job seeker's place, and they never really helped me that much. And I'm really just kind of on my own at the moment. So I really didn't want to go in depth with this video about my life, because it really is kind of depressing when I think about it. But I did promise to make this video for the 100 subscriber special, so I'm happy now that I'm actually past this, and now you can kind of learn a little bit about myself and where I've been and what I've gone through. I know it was very brief, but there really isn't that much that has gone on in my life in the first 21 years of my life that I really want to go in depth about. So I appreciate that you guys have pretty much become a new part of my life, and it means a lot to me that there's a new saga that is actually really good and keeps me going and makes me happy to know that I'm actually entertaining people out there. It was basically my life's biggest dream to entertain other people, and it means the world to me that I could do such a thing for free. YouTube is a great platform, but I feel like it's kind of dying at the moment, and I'm going to do what I can to try to keep this channel going. I may actually look into looking up another video service, but I'll still upload to YouTube. But what I mean is I want to do double uploads, where I'll upload here and then upload somewhere else, and maybe I might find more people somewhere else because it might be more dedicated fan base. But because YouTube's actually been really difficult to try to get my videos out there, and I'm not with any partners or anything like that, so I don't really get paid by YouTube. I've been experimenting with the monetization, but there hasn't really been that much development there. So yeah, I'm going to end the video there, guys. I really appreciate you listening to me and sticking with me this whole time. So as always, if you somehow haven't come across this channel before and you enjoyed this video, please check out my older stuff. And of course, if you enjoy all that, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, but only do that if you want to.